Professional drift. It is the hidden cost of being busy in your leadership. And it starts as a slight slip, barely noticeable at first. You're still hitting your deadlines, you're still showing up, maybe you're still in the room where the decisions are being made. Outwardly, everything's fine. Inside, though, something is off. You've lost track of what drives you. Your energy is focused everywhere, you're responding to everything, and nothing is moving forward. It's not burnout. You're showing up, but you're not lit up by the work anymore. You're definitely not as energized as you used to be, and I call it professional drift. And it has become one of the biggest threats to leadership impact and momentum that no one's really talking about. So what is it? It happens to you when you're no longer anchored to what matters to you, but you keep moving out of habit. You're busy, but you're not fulfilled. You're engaged, but you're not energized. You're producing, but you're not progressing. You've drifted away from focus. And now it is just a whirlwind of activity to keep it all moving forward. You're showing up, but you're disconnected from what meaning used to feel like when you first took the role. And for many high achievers, this slow drift can go on for months, sometimes years, because on the outside, everything still looks fine. So it doesn't happen from a lack of effort. It comes from over effort without a clear path forward. So if you've been reacting instead of reflecting on what is working, what's not working, what you've been tolerating instead of addressing, if you've been saying yes to too much and no to what matters, if you're chasing urgency without direction, this is how you get there. And I've seen it everyone from executive leaders to emerging leaders. And I've lived it myself. And professional drift is sneaky, but it's also personal for me. And I got a wake-up call. At one point, I found myself smack in the middle of this. On paper, everything looked fine. I was meeting and exceeding expectations, showing up, doing the work. But inside, I was treading water. I felt like I was wasting my potential. I felt like I was meant to do more and stop playing small. But nobody was there to tell me, what does this mean? How do I get there? And so frustration turned into exhaustion. I joked that I was mad, miserable, and medicated. I was on migraine medicine, high blood pressure medicine, anti-anxiety medicine. But deep down, I knew the medicines weren't a fix. They were a signal. And the turning point was that I went to a mindset training. Although I went skeptically, my arms were crossed when I walked in, but very soon it became crystal clear. I was the one who was in my own way. The way I was thinking was feeding the stress. And that is when something cracked wide open. And I knew, even though I was in the way, I also had the answers to get back on course because drift had pulled me out of meaning in my work. Now, the truth is that drift isn't just a personal issue. It's an organizational one too. Because when your leaders drift, so do your teams. When priorities blur, performance follows. When clarity fades, retention falters. If your team is scattered, if succession planning has stalled, if your high performers are quietly disengaging or quiet quitting, then this is an organizational problem. Now, clarity is the antidote to drift. And I help leaders navigate drift with clarity with something I call the clarity compass. And it's not about doing more. It's about making the right moves for the right reasons, what I call clear moves. And we ask 5 essential questions. Why, what, who, how, now. And it is the foundation of the Clarity Edge philosophy, where mindset meets movement. And strategy gets really personal because leadership without clarity is just motion, and motion without intention eventually leads to drift. So, why? Why is your leadership meaningful to you? Why are you doing what you're doing? Okay? If you've got a decision to make, then you want to make sure that you are aligned with meaning. What? What is it that are your options? What could be next? What matters most right now? Who? Who can help you? Who can help you get to where you want to go? How? How could it happen? If you think logically, if you map it out on a piece of paper, what could the strategies look like to help get you there? And then now, what is your first action step? What is it that you can do and commit to doing within the first 48 hours? That is how you get momentum. So if you are hearing this and you're thinking, ooh, this might be me, it's okay. Your first step comes with just acknowledging it, saying that this is where I'm at and realizing it's not where you want to be. And the second step is getting your own version of clarity using those questions. Why, what, who, how, now. And if I can be of good service to you, please feel free to reach out. And if you'd like to know what this might look like in your organization, with your leaders, with your teams, then let's start a conversation. Head on over to my website at www.debbiepetersonspeaks.com. And until the next time, here is wishing you all the clarity that you deserve and omitting the professional drift that you don't. So take care, be good to yourself, and bye-bye for now.